Right now, you're experiencing something most people never understand.
The walls are closing in. Every direction you turn feels blocked. Your chest tightens with a weight that won't lift. And you're wondering if you've somehow failed at life itself.
But what if I told you this crushing sensation isn't failure at all?
What if the pressure you're feeling is actually the universe confirming you're on the verge of your greatest transformation?
This phenomenon has a name. I call it the frequency collapse point. It's the exact moment when your rising vibration becomes incompatible with the reality structure you've been living in, and that old structure fights back with everything it has to drag you down. The tighter the grip, the closer you are to breaking free. Most people misread this completely. They feel the pressure and assume they're moving backward, so they give up right at the threshold of breakthrough. Here's what's really happening in the quantum field. Reality organizes itself around collective vibration. When you start operating above that baseline, the field notices, and it doesn't let go gently. Instead, it contracts around you like a python, squeezing tighter and tighter, testing whether you'll drop back down to familiar frequencies or push through to liberation. The compression you're experiencing proves your energy has actually shifted. If nothing had changed, there'd be no resistance. Can you sense it? That suffocating feeling when you wake up? The way every problem seems to multiply overnight? The exhaustion that sleep can't fix? This isn't random chaos. This is systematic resistance from a reality that recognizes you no longer match its vibration, and it's applying coordinated pressure from multiple angles simultaneously to overwhelm you back into compliance. Every relationship issue, every financial crisis, every health concern activating at once, that's not coincidence. That's the collapse point doing exactly what it's designed to do. The collapse point always arrives right before breakthrough. It's the darkness before dawn, the final contraction before expansion, the ultimate test before transformation. But here's the tragedy. Most people don't recognize what's happening. They interpret the pressure as punishment or proof they're on the wrong path. So they contract. They lower their frequency to ease the discomfort. They surrender their evolution and slip back into old patterns. And yes, the pressure releases, but only because they've abandoned the very breakthrough they were approaching. You're here because some part of you refuses to surrender. Despite the crushing weight, despite the overwhelming odds, despite every circumstance screaming at you to give up, something inside knows this pressure means victory is near. The collapse point doesn't waste energy on consciousness that's not actually rising. The intensity you're experiencing is proportional to the freedom waiting on the other side. Maximum pressure means maximum proximity to breakthrough. This transmission will reveal three critical truths. First, what the collapse point actually is and why your specific frequency triggered it. Second, how to recognize the difference between genuine breakdown and breakthrough compression. Third, the exact method to navigate through the pressure without surrendering your transformation. Because once you understand the mechanics, the collapse point loses its power to deceive you. Drop in the comments, "I'm at the threshold," because naming your location in this journey removes confusion. You're not randomly struggling. You're at a specific evolutionary checkpoint, and that recognition changes everything about how you move through it. Let me show you the exact signs that confirm you're in the collapse point right now. These aren't vague feelings. They're precise indicators that old reality is attempting to pull you back into its frequency range before you escape completely. First indicator, total overwhelm from every direction. It's not one crisis. It's everything erupting simultaneously. Your relationships fracture, your finances destabilize, your physical body rebels, your emotions spiral, your mental clarity vanishes, and you can't understand how everything fell apart at once. This is coordinated collapse. Old reality applying pressure from every possible angle to create the illusion that continuing forward leads to total destruction. Second indicator, the return of conquered demons. Anxieties you thought you'd healed suddenly roar back stronger than before. Addictive patterns you'd released reappear with frightening intensity. Depression you'd transcended crashes over you in waves. You feel like you're regressing, losing ground, going backward, but you're not. These patterns are resurfacing because old reality is attempting to reconnect with you through familiar frequencies. It's using your own past vibrations as hooks to pull you back. Third indicator, decision paralysis. Every option feels wrong. Every path seems blocked. You can't move forward, can't stay still, can't go back. The paralysis isn't lack of possibilities. It's that old reality has arranged circumstances to make dropping back into old frequency appear as the only logical choice. The collapse point creates the illusion that there's no way out except surrender. Fourth indicator, time becomes liquid. Days evaporate. Weeks vanish. You can't track where the hours go. Or conversely, single moments stretch into eternity. This temporal distortion happens because you're existing between two incompatible frequency states. Old reality pulling backward, new reality pulling forward, and you're caught in the tension between them. The time warping confirms you're in transition space. Fifth indicator, your body feels like a battlefield. Exhaustion that rest doesn't touch. Tension locked in your shoulders and jaw. Digestive chaos. Mysterious aches. Racing heart. Your physical form is caught between the frequency it's calibrated to and the frequency you're moving toward. The discomfort is biological recalibration under extreme pressure. Your cells are literally reorganizing to match your rising consciousness. Sixth indicator, isolation intensifies. People you relied on become unavailable. Support systems collapse. You feel utterly alone with this pressure, convinced no one understands what you're experiencing. This isn't abandonment. This is old reality isolating you strategically. When you're alone and vulnerable, you're more likely to surrender to the demands of the collapse point. Separation makes possession easier. Seventh indicator, doubt becomes deafening. You question everything, your path, your choices, your sanity, your worth. You wonder if you should have stayed where you were. You second-guess every decision that brought you here. This doubt is the collapse point's most effective weapon. It uses pressure to create uncertainty that makes you desperately want to return to whatever felt stable before, even if that stability was unconsciousness. Eighth indicator, reality feels unstable. You're not sure what's real anymore. Your perception seems unreliable. You feel like you're losing your grip on consensus reality. But here's the truth. You're not going crazy. You're experiencing two reality structures simultaneously, one dissolving, one forming. The instability you feel is accurate perception of transition between incompatible states. Do you recognize yourself in these indicators? If you're experiencing 5 or more, you're absolutely in the collapse point. And here's what matters most. These experiences aren't evidence of failure, they're evidence of success. You've risen high enough in frequency that old reality can no longer accommodate you comfortably. The collapse point is its final attempt to reclaim you before you break free permanently. The pressure wouldn't be this intense if breakthrough wasn't this close. Reality doesn't waste energy compressing consciousness that's not actually leaving. The force being applied to you is directly proportional to the transformation you're approaching. You're not being crushed randomly, you're being tested specifically, and the test only appears for those who've genuinely shifted frequency beyond the point where old reality can ignore them. Something shifts when you stop seeing this pressure as punishment and start recognizing it as physics. The collapse point isn't personal, it's mechanical. When any component in a system rises beyond the system's operational frequency, the system applies corrective force. This is how all systems maintain coherence. Your individual consciousness is the component. Collective reality is the system. Your frequency exceeded the system's acceptable range, so automatic correction protocols engaged. This isn't the universe being cruel, this is homeostasis. Every system, from biological organisms to quantum fields, resists dramatic change to individual components. Not because change is bad, but because unvetted change creates instability. If the system allowed you to leap to new frequency without testing your stability there, you might oscillate wildly between frequencies, causing disruption throughout the field. The collapse point is quality control, verification that you can actually maintain the frequency you're claiming. Think about the genius of this design. If you transition to higher frequency without being tested, the first real challenge in that new frequency would destabilize you completely. You'd crash back to old frequency. Then you'd try again, crash again, creating chaos in the field through constant oscillation. The collapse point prevents that by testing you before transition instead of after. It applies maximum survivable pressure to confirm you can maintain new frequency under stress. Here's the reframe that changes everything. The collapse point isn't trying to break you. It's testing whether you're breakable. There's a profound difference. Breaking you serves no purpose. Testing your stability serves the entire field. If you can maintain new frequency while old reality applies maximum pressure, you've proven you won't destabilize the field by entering it prematurely. You've demonstrated genuine capacity, not temporary enthusiasm. The pressure is precisely calibrated, not random. If it were too light, you'd pass without proving real capacity. If it were too heavy, it would destroy rather than test. The fact that it's exactly at the edge of what you can survive proves intelligent design. This is customized examination based on your specific frequency signature and the level you're attempting to reach. The collapse point knows exactly how much pressure will reveal whether you're stable or fragile. Can you feel the shift happening in how you relate to this pressure? Moments ago, it felt like evidence of failure. Now you're beginning to recognize it as confirmation of progress. The circumstances haven't changed, the pressure remains, but your interpretation is transforming, and interpretation determines whether the collapse point defeats you or whether you navigate through it successfully. Let me share what happened when I hit my own collapse point 3 years ago. I need you to hear this, because when you're in maximum pressure, knowing someone navigated through successfully can make the difference between surrender and breakthrough. I'd been consciously raising my frequency for almost 2 years. Everything was expanding, consciousness opening, old patterns releasing, life flowing. I felt invincible. Then, seemingly overnight, everything detonated. A relationship that seemed solid ended abruptly. Financial security I'd built vanished through circumstances I couldn't control. A health issue appeared from nowhere. Work that had been fulfilling became unbearable, and all of it hit simultaneously within the span of 10 days. The pressure was absolutely crushing. What made it worse was the shame. I'd been teaching consciousness work, talking about frequency and reality creation, and here I was apparently failing at everything I taught. The doubt was overwhelming. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe this whole consciousness thing is fantasy. Maybe I should just get a conventional job, a conventional relationship, a conventional life. Maybe trying to live at higher frequency is arrogance, and reality is putting me back in my place. I was hours away from making the calls that would represent complete surrender, returning to old patterns, contracting back to frequency that old reality could accommodate without resistance. I was sitting in that crushing pressure, phone in hand, about to make the first surrender call, and something stopped me. I noticed that while circumstances were crushing, the awareness observing the circumstances was completely untouched. The pressure was surrounding me, compressing circumstances, but the consciousness witnessing it all, that remained spacious, free, uncompressed. And I recognized a choice I hadn't seen before. I could identify with the circumstances being squeezed, or I could identify with the awareness that couldn't be squeezed. Same situation, completely different experience based on where I placed my identity. I made a decision in that moment that changed everything. I would not surrender. I would not contract back to old frequency to relieve pressure. I would sit in the collapse point and let it crush everything except consciousness itself. If old reality wanted me back, it would have to actually destroy me, because I wasn't going back voluntarily. What happened next still astonishes me. Within 72 hours, every pressure point began releasing. Not because I fixed anything, I didn't. I just maintained my frequency and refused to surrender. The relationship that ended created space for an aligned connection that appeared within 3 weeks. The financial crisis resolved through an opportunity I couldn't have manufactured. The health issue vanished once the pressure lifted. The work situation transformed into something perfectly aligned with new frequency. The collapse point wasn't trying to destroy me. It was testing whether I'd maintain new frequency under pressure. Once I proved I would, it released. Old reality recognized it couldn't pull me back. New reality opened because I demonstrated I could maintain its frequency even under maximum stress. That's what's available to you right now. You're in the collapse point. You're feeling the pressure. You're considering surrender. But if you can recognize this as a test rather than punishment, if you can maintain frequency despite every circumstance demanding you lower it, breakthrough is inevitable. The collapse point only continues until old reality confirms you won't surrender. Once it recognizes that, it must release you. Because you've proven you're no longer controllable through pressure. You've demonstrated that your frequency shift is stable, not temporary. And stable frequency shifts earn liberation from old reality's grip. Write in the comments, "I will not contract," because declaring resistance strengthens your capacity to maintain it when pressure intensifies tomorrow or the day after. The collapse point will test whether that declaration is genuine. Having stated it publicly creates accountability that helps you honor it privately. Now let's identify the specific tools old reality deploys during the collapse point to attempt pulling you back. Once you recognize these tools in action, they lose much of their power because you can see them operating instead of being unconsciously controlled by them. Tool 1. Doubt through comparison. Old reality shows you people who seem to have it easier, who didn't face this level of pressure, who succeeded without struggle. The comparison creates doubt. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should follow their path instead of trusting mine. This tool works by making you abandon what's uniquely aligned for you in favor of someone else's proven path. Resistance, your journey is yours. Comparison is an attempt to make you reject your authentic frequency. Tool 2. Fear through worst-case scenarios. Old reality amplifies catastrophic futures. If you continue, you'll lose everything. You'll end up alone, broken, destroyed. The catastrophizing creates fear that makes surrender seem like survival necessity. This tool works by making the future appear so threatening that dropping back to old frequency seems like the only safety. Resistance, catastrophic projections are manipulation tactics, not accurate predictions. Fear is data showing you're moving into unknown territory, which is exactly where transformation lives. Tool 3. Shame through internalized judgment. Old reality activates every should you've ever absorbed. You should be normal. You should do what's practical. You should stop being so intense. The shame creates pressure to conform to collective expectations. This tool works by making your authentic frequency expression seem wrong or embarrassing. Resistance? Should is always control language. Your genuine frequency needs no justification to anyone. Tool 4. Exhaustion through depletion. Old reality creates circumstances that drain energy from multiple sources simultaneously. Physical exhaustion, emotional depletion, mental fog. The overwhelm makes you too tired to resist. This tool works by reducing your capacity to maintain higher frequency through pure depletion. Resistance, rest, isn't surrender. Strategic energy conservation while maintaining frequency commitment is wisdom, not weakness. Tool 5. Isolation through distance. Old reality removes support systems, creates separation from aligned people, makes you feel utterly alone. The isolation makes the collapse point feel unbearable without someone to share the burden. This tool works by making you desperate for connection, so desperate you'll return to old frequency to obtain it. Resistance, temporary isolation, is a symptom of transition, not permanent condition. Breakthrough reconnects you with truly aligned community. Tool 6. Confusion through contradictory information. Old reality floods you with conflicting guidance, contradictory signs, unclear direction. The confusion makes you doubt your inner knowing and seek external authority. This tool works by making you willing to accept old reality's structure because at least it provides clear rules. Resistance? Confusion is temporary fog that clears once you break through. Your inner knowing is more reliable than external noise. Tool 7. Nostalgia through selective memory. Old reality reminds you how easy things were before you started rising, how comfortable, how safe. The nostalgia creates desire to return to when life felt manageable. This tool works by making you forget why you left old frequency in the first place. Resistance. Old frequency felt safe because you were unconscious. New frequency feels challenging because you're conscious. Always choose consciousness over comfort. Tool 8. Urgency through artificial deadlines. Old reality creates the sense that you must decide now, surrender now, return now. or opportunity will be lost forever. The urgency prevents you from waiting for the collapse point to release naturally. This tool works by forcing fear-based decisions under pressure rather than allowing clarity to emerge. Resistance. Real opportunities don't require panic-driven urgency. If a choice feels pressured, it's a control attempt. Every single one of these tools is operating during your collapse point, and they're all designed to make you contract back to old frequency. But here's what matters. Once you recognize them as manipulation tools rather than legitimate concerns, their power decreases dramatically. You're not wrong for experiencing doubt, fear, shame, exhaustion, isolation, confusion, nostalgia, or urgency. You're experiencing organized resistance from old reality, attempting to reclaim you. Naming the tools allows you to resist the effects they're designed to create. Let me show you specific signs that breakthrough is imminent, even though the pressure feels unbearable. These signs prove you're winning, not losing, even when every circumstance suggests otherwise. Sign 1. Pressure reached maximum and plateaued. The collapse point doesn't intensify infinitely. It reaches peak and holds there. If your pressure has plateaued at unbearable but survivable, you're at the breakthrough threshold. The plateau is old reality applying maximum sustainable force while waiting for you to surrender. Sign 2. Return feels impossible. You've crossed a point where going back to old frequency feels more unbearable than staying in pressure. Old life doesn't appeal anymore, even as escape from discomfort. This proves you've shifted frequency beyond the point of no return. You can't be pulled back because you're no longer compatible with what you were. Sign 3. Unexpected calm in chaos. Moments of inexplicable peace, despite circumstances remaining chaotic. Brief windows where pressure lifts and you feel absolute certainty everything will resolve. These moments are previews of post-breakthrough reality, bleeding through old reality's resistance. The calm isn't denial. It's your future state announcing itself. Sign 4. Synchronicities persist despite chaos. Meaningful coincidences still occurring even though everything else feels blocked. Repeating numbers. Information arriving from multiple unconnected sources. Perfect timing in small things. This proves the field is still guiding you. The synchronicities confirm you're still on path, even though the path feels impossible. Sign 5. Dreams showing resolution. Nighttime dreams where problems resolve, circumstances align, breakthrough occurs. The dreams are your consciousness accessing the post-breakthrough timeline that already exists in quantum potential. You're visiting the reality you're about to step into. Sign 6. Sudden insights about purpose. Recognizing why specific pressures exist and what they're revealing about remaining attachments to old frequency. The insights prove consciousness is expanding even under extreme pressure. Understanding the collapse point's purpose means you're metabolizing it rather than being destroyed by it. Sign 7. Decreased reactivity to manipulation. Doubt, fear, and shame still present, but not controlling your choices anymore. You recognize them as tools and continue anyway. Decreased reactivity proves you're building immunity to old reality's influence. The tools still deploy, but they're losing effectiveness. Sign 8. This transmission found you. The fact that this message reached you during peak pressure is itself a sign breakthrough is close. The field doesn't deliver navigation guidance unless navigation is actually possible. If breakthrough wasn't imminent, you'd either still be unconscious of the collapse point or you'd have already surrendered. Sign 9. Body symptom shifting. Physical pressure changes quality, moves from chest to head. Intensity fluctuates. Changes in physical symptoms indicate your body is recalibrating to new frequency rather than just suffering. Shifting symptoms prove biological breakthrough is processing. Sign 10. Old coping mechanisms losing appeal. Behaviors that used to provide relief during pressure, substances, distractions, numbing, they're not working anymore or don't even appeal. This proves you've outgrown old frequencies' coping mechanisms. The loss of appeal signals you're ready for new reality's resources. Sign 11. Zero tolerance for inauthenticity. You can't pretend anymore. Can't fake interest in things that don't matter. Can't engage in surface-level interactions. The intolerance proves your frequency is too high for old reality's games. You're becoming allergic to anything inauthentic. Sign 12. Others unconsciously avoiding you. People creating distance not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your raised frequency triggers their unprocessed material. The avoidance confirms you're vibrating beyond collective baseline. Your presence is uncomfortable to those still operating in old frequency. If you're experiencing 10 or more signs, breakthrough is imminent. Maximum pressure doesn't last forever. It reaches peak intensity right before release. You're at that peak now. The question isn't whether breakthrough will come. The question is whether you'll maintain frequency long enough to receive it. Here's what you need to understand before we go deeper. Right now, in this moment of maximum pressure, you have maximum motivation to resist. The collapse point gives you a clear challenge to push against. But if pressure continues without visible breakthrough, exhaustion will make surrender increasingly seductive. Use this moment while resistance is still strong to commit absolutely. I will not surrender. I will maintain frequency until breakthrough arrives. That commitment made at peak pressure is what carries you through when motivation wavers. Let's talk about practical survival. How to maintain frequency during the collapse point without surrendering. There are 3 non-negotiable practices. Implement all 3 or the pressure will eventually break you. Non-negotiable 1. Daily frequency anchoring. Every single morning before engaging with circumstances, anchor yourself in new frequency. 5 to 10 minutes minimum. This isn't optional meditation. This is survival practice. How? Sit quietly. Remember the frequency you're claiming. Peace, power, trust, freedom, whatever it is. Feel it in your body regardless of circumstances. Declare out loud or internally, I maintain this frequency regardless of pressure. This daily anchoring gives you a baseline to return to when the collapse point threatens to pull you down. Non-negotiable 2. Relentless reframing. Every time you notice yourself thinking, I'm failing, or this is too hard, or I can't do this, stop immediately and reframe. Reality is testing me because I'm breaking free. This pressure proves I'm succeeding. The intensity means breakthrough is close. Reframe constantly, dozens of times daily if necessary. The collapse point succeeds by making you interpret pressure as personal failure. Reframing interrupts that interpretation and replaces it with accurate understanding. Non-negotiable 3. Strategic non-engagement. Don't try to solve every problem the collapse point creates. Don't fix every crisis. Don't respond to every pressure point. That's the trap. The collapse point creates problems faster than you can solve them, specifically to exhaust you. Instead, identify what absolutely must be addressed and release everything else as unresolved. The non-engagement isn't giving up. It's refusing to play the collapse point's game. Old reality wants you frantically fixing problems. You maintain frequency by choosing what deserves energy and releasing the rest. These 3 practices work synergistically. Morning anchoring establishes baseline frequency. Constant reframing maintains perspective under pressure. Strategic non-engagement conserves energy. Without all 3, the collapse point will find your weakness and exploit it mercilessly. Here's what makes survival possible. The collapse point has limits. Old reality can only apply a certain amount of pressure before it must either release you or actually destroy you. And destruction isn't the goal. Reclamation is the goal. It wants you back operating in old frequency, not eliminated, so it applies maximum pressure that's survivable but unbearable, hoping you'll surrender to relieve discomfort. If you can maintain frequency through that maximum pressure, old reality recognizes you can't be reclaimed and it must release you. The practice is endurance, not passive suffering. This is active resistance. Every day you maintain frequency despite pressure is a day closer to breakthrough. Every time you reframe instead of despair is a victory. Every strategic non-engagement is a refusal to exhaust yourself in the collapse point's game. You're not trying to escape the pressure. You're proving you can't be controlled by it. Here's what transforms everything. The moment you stop trying to make the collapse point end and start seeing how long you can maintain frequency despite it, your relationship with pressure fundamentally changes. You're no longer a victim waiting for circumstances to improve. You're a warrior, proving you can handle whatever reality throws at you. That shift from victim to warrior is what allows breakthrough to occur. Let me reveal what actually happens when you navigate the collapse point successfully without surrendering. What you become after proving you can maintain new frequency under maximum pressure from old reality. Transformation 1. Unshakable frequency stability. After surviving the collapse point, your frequency becomes remarkably stable. Circumstances that would have destabilized you before barely register. You've proven to yourself you can maintain frequency under worst-case pressure. Everything after is easier because you've already handled maximum difficulty. The stability isn't confidence, it's demonstrated capacity. Transformation 2. Immunity to old reality's pull. Once you resist reclamation successfully, old reality recognizes you as no longer reclaimable. It stops trying to pull you back because it knows you won't return. You're free, not through avoiding old reality, but through proving old reality can't reclaim you. The immunity is earned through resistance. Transformation 3. Access to resources old frequency couldn't reach. New reality opens after the collapse point releases. Opportunities that didn't exist in old frequency become available. Relationships that couldn't form at old frequency appear. Capabilities you couldn't access before activate. The resources aren't rewards for suffering. They're natural features of the frequency level you've stabilized in. Transformation 4. Ability to guide others through their collapse points. Having navigated it yourself, you recognize when others are being tested, and you can help them understand that pressure means breakthrough, not failure. Your experience becomes service. The navigation you completed becomes a map you can share. Transformation 5. Deep trust in the process. You know experientially that maximum pressure precedes breakthrough. Future collapse points at new levels don't create the same panic because you've witnessed the pattern. Survive pressure, get breakthrough, maintain frequency, receive liberation. The trust isn't faith, it's pattern recognition from direct experience. Transformation 6. Relationship with pressure transforms. Pressure stops being an enemy and becomes information. When new pressure appears, you recognize, I'm approaching another breakthrough. Instead of fearing collapse points, you know they signal evolution. The relationship shift makes pressure navigable rather than overwhelming. Transformation 7. Manifestation from new frequency. What you create from post-collapse frequency is qualitatively different than what you could create before. It's more aligned, more authentic, more sustainable, because you're creating from frequency you proved you can maintain under pressure. Pre-collapse manifestations often collapse because they were created from unstable frequency. Post-collapse creations last because the foundation is proven stable. Transformation 8. Community of collapse navigators. You naturally connect with others who've survived their own tests. There's recognition between beings who've resisted reclamation successfully. The community isn't based on shared interests but shared initiation. You're part of a minority who chose breakthrough over surrender. Transformation 9. Freedom from external validation. After proving to yourself you can maintain frequency when everything external demands you lower it, external validation becomes irrelevant. You know what you can handle. You know what you're capable of. Others' opinions can't shake that knowledge. The freedom isn't arrogance. It's certainty from tested capacity. Transformation 10. Living proof of possibility. Your life becomes demonstration that breakthrough is achievable, that old reality's reclamation can be resisted, that maintaining new frequency under pressure is possible. You're not just teaching possibility theoretically, you're embodying it practically. That embodiment serves the collective by showing the collapse point can be survived. These transformations aren't guaranteed rewards. They're natural results of surviving the collapse point without surrendering. The struggle wasn't random difficulty, it was initiation. And what you become through successful initiation is fundamentally different than what you were before. Not better, different. Frequency shifted in a way that can't be reversed. Now we arrive at the deepest truth about the collapse point, the understanding that makes everything else make complete sense. Are you ready? The collapse point isn't random pressure. It's an organized examination, old reality applying specific challenges designed to reveal whether you can maintain new frequency when circumstances demand you lower it. And this isn't arbitrary difficulty. This is the final test before reality releases you from old frequency structure and allows you into new frequencies territory. Here's what most people don't understand. Reality operates like a security system. Frequencies below a certain threshold can exist within old reality's structure without challenge. But when consciousness attempts to rise above that threshold, the system activates testing protocol. Why? Because allowing consciousness into higher frequency without testing creates instability. If you reach new frequency but can't maintain it under pressure, you'll oscillate between frequencies, creating chaos in the reality field. The collapse point is reality's way of confirming, can this consciousness maintain new frequency stably, or will it crash back under pressure? The test is necessary before release because reality needs to know you won't destabilize the new frequency layer by entering it prematurely. The pressure isn't trying to break you, it's testing whether you're breakable. Think about it. If you transitioned to new frequency without being tested, the first significant challenge in that new frequency would destabilize you. You'd collapse back to old frequency, then try again, collapse again, rise and collapse repeatedly. That oscillation creates disturbance in the reality field. The collapse point prevents that by testing you before transition instead of after. It's quality control, verification that you're stable enough to maintain new frequency. This is why the pressure is so precisely calibrated. Maximum pressure that's survivable but unbearable. If pressure were too light, you'd pass without proving real capacity. If pressure were too heavy, it would destroy instead of test. The perfect calibration, just barely survivable, proves that if you survive it, you can maintain new frequency under any realistic pressure you'll encounter post-breakthrough. The master key is recognizing the collapse point's ending is a pass-fail result of this examination. If you maintain frequency until reality recognizes you can't be broken or pulled back, you pass. Pressure releases, new frequency opens, old reality releases its hold because the test is complete and you demonstrated capacity. But if you surrender, if you contract back to old frequency to relieve pressure, you fail this particular test cycle. Not permanently, but this cycle ends with return to old frequency. You'll have to build back up and face the collapse point again later. Here's the crucial understanding. You don't beat the collapse point, you endure it. Victory isn't defeating pressure. Victory is maintaining frequency while pressure does everything possible to make you lower it. You win by not surrendering, not by making pressure stop. Reality releases you when it confirms you're stable, not when you prove you're strong, when you prove you're unbreakable. And here's what changes everything. Once you know the collapse point is a test, not punishment, you can reframe your entire experience. You're not suffering random difficulty. You're taking the final examination before graduation to new frequency. The pressure is confirmation you're ready to be tested. The intensity is confirmation the stakes are real. And endurance is the only passing grade required. The practice shifts from, how do I make this stop, to how long can I maintain frequency despite this? From trying to end the test to proving you can pass it. From victim of circumstances to candidate under examination. That reframing transforms the collapse point from unbearable suffering into difficult but meaningful challenge that has clear purpose and definite end. One more truth. The collapse point ends the moment reality confirms your stability. Not when you've suffered enough, not when you've learned a lesson, when you've demonstrated that pressure can't pull you back into old frequency. That confirmation happens when you stop wondering if you should surrender and start knowing, I'm maintaining this frequency regardless of what pressure does. That knowing is what reality tests for. And once it detects that knowing, the test is complete. You're in the collapse point. Reality is testing you. The test has one question. Can you maintain new frequency when everything demands you lower it? Your endurance is your answer. And if your answer is yes, maintained through actual endurance, not just stated as intention, reality has no choice but to release you into the new frequency you've proven you can inhabit. What you need to understand now is that your successful navigation doesn't just affect you, it affects collective capacity for breakthrough. Your endurance matters more than you realize. Here's why. Every individual who successfully navigates a collapse point creates a morphic resonance pattern that makes navigation easier for others. The first consciousness to resist reclamation and breakthrough faced maximum difficulty because no pattern existed. Each subsequent breakthrough strengthens the pattern. Your endurance during this collapse point contributes to making it survivable for thousands who come after you. When you maintain frequency despite maximum pressure, you're proving to the reality field that consciousness can stabilize at new frequency. That proof creates precedent. Reality recognizes if this consciousness maintains stability, others at similar frequency can too. Your individual breakthrough contributes to reality becoming more accommodating of higher frequencies generally. You're not just liberating yourself, you're creating possibility for others. But there's more. When you're in the collapse point, others in your field range, people you know, interact with, or are connected to through the unified field, are observing your navigation consciously or unconsciously. Your endurance affects them. If you surrender, they unconsciously receive the message, pressure is too powerful to resist. If you maintain frequency, they unconsciously receive the message, the collapse point can be survived. Your choice during the test teaches everyone connected to you what's possible. Think about the implications. Collective consciousness has been operating at relatively low frequency because higher frequencies trigger collapse points and most people surrender rather than endure. This creates a collective pattern. Don't rise too high or reality will crush you. But when enough individuals navigate collapse points successfully, that pattern breaks. A new collective pattern emerges. The collapse point is survivable. Breakthrough is achievable. Higher frequencies are maintainable. Your navigation contributes to that pattern shift. You're not just one person handling a personal challenge. You're consciousness participating in collective evolution. From low-frequency stability, no pressure but no growth, to high-frequency capacity, collapse points occur but breakthrough is possible. Your endurance demonstrates to the collective field that transformation beyond old frequency is achievable. This is why the collapse point is so important. It's not just a personal test, it's collective initiation. Each successful navigation proves to reality and to collective consciousness that higher frequencies are stable. Each proof makes the next breakthrough easier. You're building a ladder others will climb. Your endurance creates the rungs. But here's what makes this service rather than burden. You're not doing this for others. You're doing this for your own liberation. The collective impact is an automatic byproduct. When you maintain frequency for yourself, pattern is created for others. When you resist reclamation for your own freedom, precedent is set for collective breakthrough. The service happens through your personal navigation. You don't have to try to help the collective. Your successful collapse point navigation is the help. We're completing this transmission, but your navigation of the collapse point continues. You need a practice that maintains frequency during ongoing pressure until reality releases you. Here's what you do. Collapse point resistance practice. Twice daily minimum. Morning and evening. Takes 5 minutes each time. This isn't optional if you want to navigate successfully. Step 1. Acknowledge current pressure. 60 seconds. Name what's compressing you, all the circumstances applying pressure. Don't minimize or deny. Acknowledge fully. This is intense. This is difficult. This is the collapse point. Step 2. Reframe as test, not punishment. 60 seconds. Shift interpretation. This pressure is reality testing whether I can maintain new frequency. The collapse point proves I'm ready for breakthrough. The intensity means I'm passing through the final examination before release. Step 3. Anchor in new frequency. 90 seconds. Feel the frequency you're claiming regardless of circumstances. Peace, power, trust, freedom, whatever it is. Embody it while acknowledging pressure. You're not pretending pressure doesn't exist. You're maintaining frequency despite its existence. Say internally or aloud, I maintain this frequency regardless of what reality does to test me. Step 4. Declare resistance to reclamation. 90 seconds. State clearly, I will not surrender to this collapse point. I will not contract back to old frequency. I maintain new frequency until reality recognizes I'm stable and releases me. I resist reclamation completely. Practice this twice daily until the collapse point releases. Morning prepares you for the day's pressure. Evening processes the day's challenges and renews commitment to maintain frequency through the next day. Track your endurance. How many days can you maintain frequency despite maximum pressure? Each day is victory. Each maintained frequency choice is passing a moment of the test. You're not trying to make the collapse point end. You're proving you can maintain stability until reality confirms you're stable enough to release. Now, critical action. Write one word in the comments. The word that represents your new frequency. The frequency you're maintaining despite the collapse point's pressure. That word is your anchor. When pressure intensifies and you're tempted to surrender, remember that word. It returns you to the frequency you've committed to maintaining. If you're ready to expand your consciousness and step into your next quantum leap, subscribe now, leave a comment below, and share this message with someone ready to awaken. Pressure will make you doubt. You need continued transmission from those who've survived collapse points and know they can be endured. Every video here serves frequency maintenance under pressure. You're not the same consciousness that started this video. You now understand pressure isn't punishment. It's a test. The collapse point isn't failure, it's final examination. And maintaining frequency despite maximum pressure is how you pass. The collapse point is real. The reclamation attempt is active. But your resistance is succeeding. Every day you maintain frequency is a day closer to breakthrough. Every reframe is refusal to be reclaimed. Every moment you choose new frequency over old relief is victory. Reality is testing you because you're breaking free. The pressure proves you're winning. Maintain your frequency. Resist the reclamation. Endure the test. Breakthrough is inevitable for consciousness that won't surrender. And you've proven already, by being here, by recognizing the collapse point, by committing to resistance, your consciousness that won't surrender. The pressure will end. The test will complete. The breakthrough will come. Your only job is maintaining frequency until reality confirms this consciousness is stable. And that confirmation is coming because you're proving it every day you endure. The collapse point is happening and you're surviving it. That survival is your breakthrough in process. Maintain, resist, endure. Victory is inevitable for the unbreakable. And you're becoming unbreakable right now.